Okay, we're going to be going over drawing a scarecrow. Now I'm going to show you two different types of scarecrows you can draw depending on if you want it horizontal or vertical. Now, tools to draw with. Pencils, obviously one option. Black crayon is another option. These are the only two things I would like you to draw with. Do not use a black marker. If you use the black marker, it's going to smear when you use our paint because it's water-based and it will smear everywhere when you add water, which is paint. I'm going to use a black marker, but the first thing remember to do is write your name on your paper. If you have not done that, go ahead and do that right now before we move on. Now, the scarecrow I'm going to be drawing is one that has a floppy hat and its arms are going out like a normal one. So the first shape I'm going to draw, or letter, is going to be a U. Again, I've left some room at the bottom because his arms are going to go across. Underneath his chin, I'm going to start at his chin, draw a straight line to the right. Under his chin, draw it to the left. These are the tops of his arms. Then I'm going to make him look like his overalls, so not too far over. 2 lines down, 2 lines down, and then some buttons. Now, the top of the hat, the rim, is floppy, so it's going to come around starting right about here, coming right above that U. To make the top of the hat, I'm going to come over on the side. I'm just going to curve up and over, hopefully making it to the other side. Now, eyes and nose, again, there's different types. For this scarecrow, I'm going to do circle eyes and a triangle nose. Maybe add some eyelashes. The circles over here I'm doing for the cheeks, but I'm not going to attach it to the mouth. And then like the mouth is sewn on, so it has our lines. So that is our scarecrow for the horizontal. You can add, it looks like an M, little birds in the back, if you would like to. So that is the scarecrow with it horizontal. Now I'm going to show you the vertical one. Again, make sure you have your name on your paper. If you have not, I always do my name with a pencil just in case I need to flip my paper over and use both sides if I've messed up. Because if you remember, Miss Lawson only gives you one piece of paper. So if you need to erase your name, you have another side to do it in. You also have your sketchbook. You can always practice this in your sketchbook before you take it to the paper since you only get one piece of paper. Okay, again, this is vertical. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to do a same thing. A U. The only difference is coming off the head, instead of going straight out, I'm going to curve it down. But I'm going to make a collar first. So not in the middle, coming off to the left. Like a sideways rectangle. That's the collar. Then I'm going to come off where the collar and the head meet and bring it down, curve it down, and then add some buttons. So if you want to add some patches, all you do is do a square and then add some lines. And you could do this to either of the scarecrows. Now this hat is different. I'm doing more of like a tall hat. So the rim is going to be a perfect circle. So I'm going to come on the left and I'm going to go curve it around. I kind of want to stick to the top of here. So maybe I'll move down. This top of the curve should be touching the head. This is the first part. Now I'm going to do the same line, just going above it. Come down some. and then the top of the hat, I'm gonna go just straight up. Now be careful, I don't wanna start the hat out here. I wanna stay more inside, so. And again, if you wanna add a patch. Now this Scarecrow's face, I'm gonna do triangles for the eyes. Triangle for the nose. And this one I'm adding the cheeks to the mouth. So I'm gonna do a circle, a smile, and a circle. Circle connects to the smile, and a circle. And then the little lines going across. Okay, so again, those are the two options. You have your vertical or you have your horizontal. You have your floppy hat, you have your top hat, triangle eyes or circle eyes. So you're gonna figure out which one you're going to draw, either with a pencil or a black crown, or you could use a brown crown. Remember, do not use a marker because when you paint, it will wipe those lines away and it will smear black everywhere. So we don't want to use a marker. Okay, painting our Scarecrow. Now, mixing plates, remember they're over on the left back corner at the end of the counter. There are two types. You have the foam tray. The paint won't sink into this. These are actually the better ones, but then you also have the paper plate. Now it's paper, so if you let it sit there too long, it will dry into the paper plate, just like it would dry on your paper. They're both fine, but if for some reason you're not mixing and using it right away, I would suggest using the foam tray, not the plate. So I'm gonna use mine. Remember, you have your paint. You should have your 3 colors. If we had a lot of mixing, then I will try to dump new paint in your little cup. But if for some reason you see colors, just don't stir it. Again, you're using your primary to paint your whole Scarecrow. So you've got to figure out what you want, what colors. For example, the face, I'm gonna make orange. So I'm gonna use my little mixing plate. And you'll have your paint mat to wipe off your brush. Mine's on the wall. So I'm gonna make orange. I'm a little bit more yellow. And then you're just gonna start painting your Scarecrow. There is not a specific place Miss Lawson's asking you to paint. You are painting your Scarecrow from your own decision-making skills. So you're gonna have to make some artistic decisions on what goes where. Now Miss Lawson used the paint that I had from my own little studio, and it's not the best. And be careful, if you have to mix more of that color, it may not be the same shade. You can just see I mixed more orange, and I'm lucky that it turned out to be the same shade. So if you don't mix enough and you have to mix more, it may be a shade different than your original color you created. Again, my white mat is on the wall, so I'm wiping it on the mat. And then you could just use your primary. You do not have to necessarily mix every color you're making. And again, if your blue is that chunky blue, you'll tell if it's chunky and it just doesn't move very well. It still works. Maybe I'll paint his. So that is what you're doing for the next few days, is making your artistic decisions, mixing new colors on your mixing tray to paint in your Scarecrow and your backgrounds. So you want to make sure you paint the background too. Your mixing trays, when it's all full, please toss it in the trash. Do not take these with you. Do not put your hand in it. Do not sit there and rub it around and then dump it in the trash can. Just use it as a mixing tray. If we cannot use our mixing trays correctly, then Miss Lawson will have to take them away. But your goal is to finish painting your Scarecrow. And please understand we have at least 3 days to paint in our Scarecrow. Do not rush and do not hurry. Take your time. do your best job, and then you have your choice board when you're done. So I'm just gonna finish mine, painting it. Okay, so you can see I have finished painting my Scarecrow. I didn't intentionally make a gray color. I was going to make green, and I just added it to what I made up here, and it just turned that color. So again, you kind of have to experiment with mixing and trying to figure out those colors. Be aware that I made a mistake. I should have wiped my brush off, because other 4th grade and 5th grade, you're both using these paints, and if you mess up the paint, the next group that comes in is not going to be very happy. I was wiping my brush off. It was just the painting mat was in front of me as I wiped it off, so you didn't see me. I was off camera wiping it off. So again, still make sure that you wipe your brush off every time you switch colors. This I'm done with, so I would take this to the trash. Please know if you are the what your jobs are, if you're in charge of getting the brushes and washing them. Please, again, do not throw away the foil. We're still covering that up for those who are still painting. Getting your top on, making sure that all the items are on your tray, washed, and then your paper is going to go to the drying rack. Making sure, even if you didn't do it vertical, your paper should be vertical.